Hi and welcome. Today is May the 6th. It is another Wednesday edition.
Happy Wednesday.
You know, Meredith, what did you do for May the 4th?
I didn't do anything. What about Cinco de Mayo? This is a busy week.
It's a busy week. So May the 4th this year, you know, Ubby was watching Rise of Skywalker, and he goes, I love Disney Plus because they have the best movies.
Yeah.
And then May the 5th, we went and had some bagels for breakfast.
That's not Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, but
then I had tacos for dinner. So.
There might have been Mexicans making bagels. I don't know.
No, they're from New York.
So what else is new?
Not much. I think a lot of people are starting to get back to work.
Yeah.
Did you see the signs? Like my first day of work. I'm
gonna
do that for you.
Yeah, I was hoping I would be the one with that. You know, my 20th first day of work, because you know, can you believe it? It's I don't know the exact date I graduated, but it's right about now, and that would be 21 years ago. I graduated dental school.
We'll have to make you a sign.
And I believe you just were lamenting that you just got your 10th high school reunion invitation. Poor girl.
I don't know if it'll still be on.
I'm 28 years out of high school.
All right, so almost
20,
30.
27 years,
Almost your 30th.
Well, all right. Let's get to the news.
Yeah.
And this week's news is absolutely cuckoo. You've got to give it to human beings. Human beings are the best, okay? Michigan police are searching for a man who wiped his nose on a store clerk who said he needed a face mask. Now, look, I live in North Carolina, so I don't know the rules in Michigan. Maybe they're mandating face masks in stores. I just don't know. But I saw the video of this, and it was quite funny. I found it funny. Look, I know it's serious, but I found it pretty funny that somebody would be such an ass that they would literally walk up to somebody and then just go up there and wipe their nose on that person's shirt. Quite disgusting, if you ask me. But I think we should all walk around with raincoats on now. So just in case somebody decides to wipe their nose on me, that my raincoat is protecting me.
Wear your face mask, people. Costco and Whole Foods are mandating it here.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank God I don't go grocery shopping.
You don't go to either of those places.
In other news, the newest scare tactic from the fake news media, and it may be real for all I know, Wendy's pulls burgers off menu in some locations due to meat shortage. And there's literally a sign on the Wendy's menu that says, "We are terribly sorry for the inconvenience. We are currently experiencing issues with our meat processing supplier and are unable to serve beef products. We are happy to serve chicken and side items." You know who the real winner in this is? Who do you think the winner in this is, Meredith? Chick-fil-A.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken, right? They can get the billboards out that says, "We don't have a food supply." And I think the reason that they don't run out of chickens because you can stuff 800 chickens in a square meter inside of a cow, actually.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even know Wendy's was still in business, to be quite honest with you. But aren't they? Where's the beef? Wendy's is where's the beef, and literally
they're looking for it.
Literally, where's the beef is.
I mean, really, what else do they sell besides burgers?
I don't know. No, their spicy chicken is decent. Okay. I mean, it's not Chick-fil-A or Popeyes, or as my daughter says, Popeyes.
Yeah.
She asked me to go to Popeyes. So they're expecting changes. So look, if you're interested in beef, if you're interested in the hamburger, my suggestion is you don't go to Wendy's, you go to McDonald's because they serve horse meat anyway. Henry Schein launches, in real dental news, Henry Schein launches a program to help dentists safely return to providing care. So I think what Henry Schein is doing here, and I'm being somewhat facetious here, is they are putting a raincoat over you and safely taking you to your office. But in all seriousness, they've developed a program, as has the other distributors as well, in which is a single cost-effective suite of solutions to help dentists prepare for reopening of the practices, reconnect with patients, and a wide range of financial services. So basically, they're going to help you get the stuff you need to open your practice, help you communicate with your patients, and help you afford all the money we've lost over the last couple of months.
So you mean we wouldn't have had to go to Home Depot today to get those?
Oh, yeah, no.
Because that would have been, we should have recorded that, us in Home Depot today.
Me trying to carry it around over my head. Did you see that?
Dropping it everywhere. People are held up. We're taking up the whole aisle. We needed a lot of help.
I got a sneeze guard today from Home Depot, and
it was just a mess.
I don't even know where to begin with this sneeze. Like, the sneeze guard's going to prevent the virus from going around it.
That's what I said.
It's
the virus is not going to go around.
Unbelievable. It takes one stupid, dumb hygienist, and suddenly we need sneeze guards in every operatory.
Just one more thing we have to wipe down, too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Speaking of hygienists, my favorite topic of the last week and a half.
Here we go.
I'm going to rant. And look, I want to say this up front. I know the majority of hygienists aren't cuckoo like this.
Especially not ours.
Oh, definitely not ours, because they wouldn't be around. Not that they're around right now, but they wouldn't be around. Is dentisting safe? That's a Nacho reference. Hygienists worry about reopening amid the coronavirus pandemic. I don't want to get into reading all of this, but let me just say this, okay? And we can take the news title off. I value and love hygienists, and I have been such a big proponent of hygienists. But I got to be honest with you. The hygienists have allowed a few wacko, outspoken hygienists and the American Dental Hygiene Association to turn back decades of progress that you have made. Because now the ADHA is fighting to keep dental offices closed. Now, what I want to say is I have nearly $3 million invested in my dental practice. My monthly mortgage is over $20,000 for this. And if anybody's going to close my office, it's going to be the higher power of the government, or it's going to be me. It's not going to be a team member or a hygienist trying to lobby the governors like they did in Texas and Tennessee and other states like that. Absolutely outrageous. And I got to give kudos to the North Carolina Hygiene Association because they put out a statement that was pretty reasonable. In other words, the reasonable was, hey, if you feel unsafe, don't go to work. I had a hygienist say, how do we have this conversation with our dentist? Easy. Say, Doc, I don't feel safe coming to work. I respect your right to open and encourage you and wish you well in opening. I hope my job still exists when I feel safe to come in, but I understand if it's not. And then move on about your life. This is absolutely ridiculous. It has taken back a decade of progress that we've made for hygienists. I can tell you this. I was a proponent of considering to let hygienists start doing more advanced treatments, like maybe even get into fillings and developing dental therapists. Absolutely not. No way. Not after this type of behavior and this type of stuff. There's no way I'll. In fact, I want to have FDA start learning how to scale teeth with Cavitrons and piezo units. That's where I'm at with this. So I don't know. Let's go to a question and answer. I'm done with that. I'm probably going to get some hate mail.
Yeah.
That's okay. Whatever. I love my hygienists. I love Megan, Jesse, and Jazz. Jesse's like, put me in, coach. How good was that? So I love that. I got to give them big props.
Yes.
So, all right.
Well, I have a question today. Remember, if you guys have any questions, you can head over to www.asktbone.com, and I will read a question I got on there for today. How can I get a patient to accept and pay for the treatment that they need?
Well, the accept part's easy. Just make it free.
Yeah.
and then if you make it free,
I need them to also pay for it.
Well, no, if it's free, they're paying for it.
Yeah.
It's zero. I mean, I'll give you a penny.
Yeah.
Just make everything a penny. But,
all right, so how can they accept and make it worth it for the treatment that they need?
Well, I feel like I've talked about this a lot for the last month, okay? But I think really, it really boils down to case acceptance, right? And I think the first and most important thing in case acceptance is developing rapport and trust. Mm-hmm. In other words, understanding where your patient's at, what they're doing, why they need this, and where they're at in their life. In other words, their fit issues. Like, for example, knowing that a husband and wife are both out of work right now doesn't mean you should change your treatment plan, but it does mean that you should be empathetic and understand what's going on. So that's one aspect of it. I think another thing that's super important, how to get people to accept treatment and is to show them photographs, make a visual. Meredith, when you go buy a lipstick, do you just pick it up off the thing and say, oh, this looks good, and just walk out with it? Or do you actually try it on and look at it in the mirror?
Yeah, try it on.
Try it on and look at it in the mirror, right? Like. So same thing. So when we want somebody to buy dentistry, whether it's non-elective dentistry or elective dentistry, we have such a desire to buy things from a visual perspective that we have to help patients visualize what we're saying to them. Okay, so I believe that we need to have a visual component to it, and then helping them pay for the dentistry. There's several things in that. One is understanding price versus affordability. Price isn't typically what keeps patients from saying yes. Usually, it's affordability. And then when it comes to the affordability, it's having multiple ways of patients to pay for it and being very clear and upfront about how they can pay for it. So do you have any other suggestions?
No, I think that's pretty much gets through to the accepting and the payment. One thing I would say about accepting treatment is to present the treatment to them the day of. I see a lot of people don't present the treatment until they send an email out a few days. They say, we'll get back with you with your treatment plans. And I think days later, that's like adding to your cart and then being like, oh, I'm going to go back and buy it. You never go back and buy anything.
Yeah, but the smart cart companies will call you back, right?
Right. Or they'll send you an email that says you forgot something in your cart.
And
you know how many emails I've gotten of that during quarantine?
And then you're like, how did they know I was looking at a cart? Right. So yeah, that's pretty good there. So I hopefully again, if you want to submit some questions to us, you can do so by calling the telephone number that you see on the screen or by visiting asktbone.com. And let's continue with our show. That music's going to get stuck in my head.
Yeah. It doesn't even have words. It's just the beat.
Well, I would like to use real music, but unfortunately, the government and the music companies and the Zuckerberg bots are watching everything we do. So we can't use real music. I have to pay for it. So for this week's clinical case, I'm actually not going to do a clinical case. I'm actually going to share and show and talk about aerosol reduction. I'm on a kick about the hygienist. And listen, this is legitimate. We don't know whether aerosol transfers the virus or not. There's concerns, So look, at the end of the day, we want to be safe and secure in what we do. We need to address those. Fears are real and they're well-founded, okay? So in all seriousness, we need to do that. So today what I want to do is I want to share with you a few products that are available to help reduce aerosols. And I'm going to start by showing you a couple of the different products that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple of what I call hygiene-specific products, which is going to be the pink petal and the relief. And then I'm going to talk about more dentist-specific or treatment-specific products, which is the Isolite, Dry Shield, and Mr. Thirsty. So first up is the pink petal. So as you can see here, nice and close up, is the pink petal is a product made by Zerk, and essentially it attaches on to your low-speed suction. And what the hygienists do, and I'm sure you've seen them when they curve the low-speed suction and they put it in the mouth, it has a tendency to fall out or not go deep enough. So by having this little pink petal on there, it helps keep it up against the chin and keeps it from falling out and makes it a little bit more comfortable for the patient. I have personally never used one, but I ordered a 50-pack for my office so that we could try it out. The pink petal is very reasonably affordable. There is no upfront cost, and they cost 50 cents per use. You buy a 50-pack for $25. That's retail. I don't know if they sell bulk packs or not, but you can contact Zerk to get more information on that. Another product that we just purchased is called the Relief. Now, the Relief is a little bit different from the pink petal. And again, I'm talking having not used the pink petal or the Relief, but having watched enough YouTube videos. Isn't that where we learn everything anyway these days? But one of the differences in the Relief compared to the pink petal is the pink petal is an attachment onto the low-speed suction. The Relief actually connects to the high-speed suction, and the suctioning is actually done through the Relief, and as you can see there, there's a few ports in there to do that. So it comes in these kits, and I just purchased what they call the standard kit, which comes with 100 bags or 100 Reliefs and some tubing and stuff, and it works out to be about $1 per use there. Again, it connects to the high speed, and it goes in, and it has these ports, and it suctions, and it works by going up against the cheek as well. So two good products that I would highly encourage every dentist watching this to highly consider that for your hygienist. And for the hygienists who are still listening and haven't gotten too mad at me or aren't fuming, instead of complaining about this, why don't you send your doc a link on where they can buy this and say, I think this would help me out and make me safe. So I would encourage you to do that. Now, on the dentist side of things, and again, these can be used for hygienists, but they're not quite as cost effective. But on the dentist side of things, there is a product called the Dry Shield. I actually have this product boxed up in the office. They were kind enough to send it to me. I want to be full disclosure there, but I've actually never used it. It's a fine product. My good friend Sully Sullivan uses this product and loves it, and it works quite nicely. The Dry Shield is a competitor to a product that I use, and it costs $500 up front. Again, I'm going by retail pricing, and about $2.50 per use on their single-use adapters. They also, on the mouthpieces, they also make a sterilizable mouthpiece. And when I was sent the unit for a trial, they only had the reusable mouthpieces, which is quite frankly the reason I didn't use them. Meredith, how would you feel about sterilizing one of these mouthpieces?
I've seen some of what the other ones look like a little bit. I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't know how I feel. So I didn't feel great about that. But the good news is now they have a single-use mouthpiece, and they cost about $2.50 each. A product that I've been using since 2003, 2004, it was the very first generation of this, which had hoses and stuff attached to it for the lights, is called the Isolite, IsoVac, and IsoDry. They have 3 different products. Each of the attachments come at a different price point up front for the IsoVac, IsoDry, and Isolite, and then they use the same disposable mouth pieces that go with it. The Isolite is a very mature product that has been around a very long time. It's developed by a dentist, his brother, and his wife, and a fantastic product, okay? This is what I use in my practice. It does have about $1,000 upfront cost for the adapter, and then $2.75 per use. And again, this is all retail pricing, so it may be different specials and things going on for that. And on the $1,000 upfront cost, they do have a way to spread that out over 12 months, so it's like $83 a month or something like that if you do it that way. So those are products, and where we're using the Isolite is pretty much almost every restorative procedure: crowns, fillings, implants. I've used it on extractions before. The main difference between the Isolite and the Dry Shield compared to the Relief and the Pink Petal is these will keep the cheek and the tongue out of the way. They're fantastic, and they do suction. And quite frankly, these products are so good that you could actually work without an assistant if your assistant, not forever, but if your assistant had to get up and go get something. Exactly. So how did you like working with these types of products when you were assisting me?
Yeah, the Isolite works great.
Yeah.
Very few patients have a hard time with it. It's easy to take in and out for breaks.
Yeah, so these aerosol things, I didn't know it. Right. I was COVID friendly back in 2003 when we put these into use.
I couldn't imagine even working without one.
Yeah, and I use a rubber dam still, but these are fantastic. And another product from our friends at Zerk is a product called Mr. Thirsty. I do not have any personal experience with this.
But that's a funny name.
It's a good name, right? Mr. Thirsty. I remember going back to the Isolite. I remember when Tom and Sandy and Jim were demoing the Isolite at the different shows. They would literally have you walk by. Some poor team member's job all day was to have the Isolite in their mouth.
It's not easy to keep in like that.
For 8 hours a day? Are you kidding me? And Tom would literally have you dump a gallon of water in her mouth.
Well, if you bite down, it's
This was before hard. This was before the Iraq War, so before waterboarding was a big thing as well. So.
Oh my gosh.
But it was unbelievable. Right. The thing would take down the gallon of water. Isolite I'm talking about. But yeah. So Mr. Thirsty is a disposable piece. There's no adapter or anything involved, and it only comes in 2 sizes. I have no personal experience with it, but there's a $65 upfront fee, which is essentially nothing, for some tubing and stuff, and then $2.80 per use. Again, all MSRP prices. So this is things to consider as ways to help reduce the aerosols in your practice. So I always believe that we should take safety seriously, and we should do everything we can to minimize. We cannot eliminate, and go from there. So let's keep moving along. All right, we're back, and we're going to talk about a business tip. And I think there's a theme to the show this week, unexpectedly. But this week, we're going to talk about the business tip of dealing with overhead costs, and specifically related to COVID. I think dentistry is going to be changed forever. I have not, in 20 years of practicing, ever had a patient say to me, "Do you use PPE?"
Right.
Okay, and I have recently. And almost every emergency patient I've seen has asked, "Do you have PPE?"
They didn't even know what PPE was.
Yeah, I thought it was like OPP. Yeah, you know me. But anyway, I think one thing that we're going to do in our practice is we're going to have a surcharge for every patient visit now. We're going to charge $10, and we're going to code it as D1999.1. So that way we can keep track of it, because the 19999 code is a generalized code that you can use for many different things. And we're going to charge $10. And that $10 is basically going to go to pay for the gowns, the stupid face shields, all the PPE, the additional masks and gloves. And, now that I have to use soap because I never washed my hands, I'm kidding. Totally kidding, okay. But also I didn't have these reliefs and isolites and hygiene and stuff like that. So our costs are truly going to go up. So we're just going to pass along a $10 charge to our patients. I've read a lot on various social media. They're like, oh, you think I can bill insurance? I'm like, dude, don't even bother. Like, I would tell you, just charge your patient, call it a day. I think expecting insurance companies to pay for this is stupid, in my opinion. Hoping, it would be great. I hope they do. But listen, they barely pay for composites. They downcode those to amalgams. So, they were like, you can just stay closed.
Yeah.
There's at least costly alternative.
Less work for them, right?
So I want you to consider using that cost. I'm a PPO network practice. Some people have talked about raising fees. And I'm not a big fan of raising fees to incorporate these costs. I'd rather see a line item for this. And I'll be honest with you, as a consumer, we've become very used to these line items. And the examples I have up here are when you go to hotels, you can see these service fees. When oil prices were high, UPS and FedEx were charging fuel surcharges. I've seen after 9/11 on airplane tickets, there used to be the 9/11 security, TSH security fee. So these were all add-ons. They didn't actually increase the cost of the ticket. They added it on. I mean, they increased the cost of the ticket too. So I encourage everybody to have a fee for these increased costs in the PPE and, 10, 15, 20. I think 20 is probably a little unreasonable, but $10 to $15 I think is pretty reasonable on something like that. And it's something that honestly most patients probably wouldn't have an issue with moving forward. So that's our business tip for this week.
All right, so at 3D Dentist, we are excited to get back going with our courses, but our in-person live courses are on hold for right now. We did a live streamed Sleep 1 course.
How great was
weekend,
that?
And it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. A lot of people were really engaged with that. So May 15th and 16th, we will have our sleep apnea and the digital practice course that will be live streamed for you and your team. Medical billing and Sleep 1 will be available as online courses coming soon. And as always, join our Facebook community page, Dental Business and Clinical Excellence. I know you're already on Facebook right now.
So 3d-dentist.com/community.
Yes.
Or up in the search bar, just type in Dental Business and Clinical Excellence.
And if you missed any of our webinars that we did over the break, you can find those at www.3d-dentist.com/growth. And lastly, if you have any questions, you can head back over to www.asktbone.com.
Well, Meredith, that's another week and another episode.
Yeah.
These are becoming a little bit easier and easier.
Yeah.
Even Gabriel's getting a better hang of it. He still makes a few mistakes. But
Everyone's going to start working, so they're going to have all these things to do. And
what am I going to do when I have to go back to work?
I know. Hopefully everyone will continue to tune
I'm going to have
in
to grow
on
up and be a big
Wednesdays.
boy and adult
Yeah.
again?
It's like going back all over again. We're going to get you a sign that says your first day.
Yeah, and listen, I want to give a shout out. Our podcast numbers have gone up over the last month to 6 weeks. Our podcast is, I'd like to think, again, we're all very biased, at least I am, that we provide phenomenal information, and you can listen to it on your favorite iTunes or iOS podcast app and the Google Play Store and the Google Podcast app. And listen, if you could help us out and leave us a review, that would be phenomenal. And if you haven't learned anything during this transitional time off, and I know for some of us we've got some more time off coming, is that you're going to have to future-proof yourself and your practice. And for me, this happened in 2008, 2009, when I went through some of the struggles that many of you are facing right now from a financial end. And I'll argue that this may have been worse because we completely closed versus having a 30, 40% drop in our business back in the Great Recession, is I developed and started my practice pivot. I didn't know it at the time, but I was just going through and diversifying. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about that and read about what the practice pivot is, dentalpracticepivot.com, and you can get a free ebook delivered directly to your inbox. So I want to thank each of you for tuning in. If you could do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, and let people know. Let your companies that you work with know. We're trying to, maybe I should get some sponsors. I mean, for God's sakes, I probably sold a lot of stuff for these companies today.
Yeah.
So be safe, be healthy.
Swipe up, click through the link. Coming soon.
Be safe, be healthy, and let us hope for some great dentistry here in the next few weeks for each of you.